Before time had a shape, there was only silence. But it wasn't an empty silence. It was a living silence, pulsing like the very first beat of a heart that has yet to know the world. In that boundless space, something began to stir. A light that wasn't light, a vibration that wasn't sound. It was the sketch of what would one day become you. There was no body, no name. There was only a single, unique signature, your energy. So pure it could never be mistaken for anything else. It wasn't made of matter, nor of memories, but of an ancient essence, carrying within it all possibilities. Imagine a breath, not of air, but of existence itself. This breath came before the very first inhale. It carried the memory of the place you came from, a place where every particle knew its purpose, where every spark was connected to something greater. Some say it was the universe itself that shaped this energy. Others say it was the touch of something even deeper, a consciousness that moves through ages, unseen by the eyes yet felt in the depths of the soul. Whatever it was, it did not happen by chance. Your energy was woven with invisible threads, like a celestial embroidery, where every stitch was a choice, a path, a possible destiny. And then came the calling, a call to incarnate, to wear matter as one wears a heavy, dense cloak, and to cross the veil that separates the eternal from the fleeting. In that crossing, part of this energy hid within your inner layers, so you could exist here, in this place. The rest remained safeguarded, waiting for the day you would remember. Most people forget. The rush, the fear, the demands of life, all pile up like dust over the memory. But sometimes, in the middle of the night, or in that instant before waking, there's an echo. A sigh that doesn't come from the lungs. A calling that doesn't belong to this world. This is the whisper before creation. And it is still here, waiting for you to listen. But what would you do if you found out that, since your very first step, something has been trying to steal that energy? No one warns you. No one points a finger and says, they're taking what's yours. The theft doesn't come with violence, nor with shouts. It's silent, almost elegant, like a shadow that lays itself over the light without the light ever noticing. From your very first cry, the world approaches with its invisible hands. It teaches you what you should want, what you should fear, what is right to feel. And in the middle of these lessons disguised as care, the extraction begins. At first, it's subtle. A look of disapproval that cuts your spontaneity. A word that shrinks your joy. A compliment that only comes when you fit the mold. Each time this happens, a fragment of your energy is collected, as if someone on the other side of a glass were taking note of every piece you give away without realizing it. As you grow, the process becomes more sophisticated. The system, that invisible machinery, no longer needs to force you. You begin offering your own energy in exchange for acceptance, for safety, for belonging. You work endless hours to buy things that never truly fill you. You smile when you don't want to, just to avoid the discomfort of silence. You wake up already tired, because sleep no longer returns what your routine keeps taking away. And while you go on believing this is all normal, there are entities, some human, others not, that feed on this constant giving. Some hide behind glowing screens. Others, inside social rituals that seem harmless. But they all share the same goal, to keep you in a state of mild exhaustion, enough to function, but never enough to awaken. This theft leaves no visible marks on the body. The marks are internal, that feeling of emptiness, even after achieving something important. The weight on your shoulders that no rest can lift. The sense that something essential is missing, even if you can't name it. And yet, there's one detail no one can erase. A small, almost imperceptible spark that insists on surviving inside you. That spark is a reminder that your true energy still exists. But to reclaim it, you'll have to face the most uncomfortable part of the truth. Because before you can free that energy, you'll have to confront the silent contract you agreed to without ever knowing. It was never written on paper. It has no signature, no witnesses. But it's as real as the lines in the palms of your hands. This contract was born the moment you, still a child, realized that to be loved, you had to shape yourself. That to be accepted, you had to give up something that was yours. Each time you silenced a desire, each time you swallowed a truth so as not to hurt someone, an invisible thread was tied. These threads aren't made of rope or steel. They're made of unspoken agreements, of invisible expectations. Threads that bind your energy to systems, people, and beliefs you don't even know you're still feeding. Picture yourself standing in the center of a dark room. From every side, subtle, almost transparent lines extend, connected to your chest, your head, your back. Each line pulls a little, not enough to knock you down, but just enough to keep you from moving forward freely. These silent contracts say, be useful and we'll give you approval. Follow the rules and you'll have safety. Don't question and we'll keep you protected. But there's a truth they never tell. Every time you fulfill the invisible clause, you pay with your energy. And that debt never ends. It's a game without a finish line, where you give more and receive less and less. The cruelest part is that a part of you believes you need these contracts to survive. They've become so familiar that you've forgotten what it's like to live without them. And deep down there's the fear. If I cut these threads, what will be left of me? The answer isn't simple, because cutting them takes courage. It requires facing not only the ones who pulled those threads, but also the moment you allowed them to be tied. And when that moment is finally seen, something begins to change. The lost energy doesn't return just yet, but awareness awakens. And with it, an ancient weight begins to loosen. But before that liberation can happen, you'll have to face a painful truth, that your original energy, the one you were born with, no longer sounds the same. In the beginning it was perfect, pure, like a melody played by divine hands, without a single note out of place. Your original energy had a unique tone, one that no other being in the universe could reproduce. It was the song of your soul, vibrant, luminous, unmistakable. But little by little, that melody began to change. First came the soft dissonances, almost imperceptible. Small noises that blended into the pure sound, like dust settling on crystal. And you kept living unaware. Then came the stronger interferences. Fears that weren't yours. Inherited guilt. Heavy silences no one could explain. Each interference stole a bit of the clarity, replacing it with a constant hum, so persistent it became part of the background of your life. The glow of your energy changed as well. The vivid, pulsing color grew duller, like a fabric fading over time. And with that fading came symptoms you never connected to it. The exhaustion that never goes away. The lack of enthusiasm. The feeling of being disconnected, even when surrounded by people. To the eyes of the world, you kept functioning. But inside, it was as if something essential had been left behind, in a place you couldn't name. It was like dreaming of a house you've never seen, yet feeling you had once lived there. A faceless longing. A nostalgia without origin. And yet, there is something no one has managed to erase. A deep memory, engraved in the core of your being. the memory of what it was like to live with that frequency intact. That's why, even in the midst of the noise, you sometimes feel a glimpse of it, in the shiver that appears out of nowhere, in the moment a song plays and, for a second, everything seems to fit, or when an unfamiliar place awakens in you the feeling of home. These moments are not coincidence. They are calls, subtle invitations to remember where that frequency still exists. And it does exist, guarded, untouched, waiting. But to find it, you'll have to cross a threshold that few dare to step through, and it is not in the outer world. It's not made of stone. It's not marked on any map. And yet, it has always been there, right at the center of your being. The inner portal doesn't open with ordinary keys. It responds to something older, deeper, a combination of vibrations only your soul knows. That's why so many spend their entire lives searching in the wrong places. Distant temples, rare books, enigmatic masters. When, in truth, the passage has always been hidden beneath the silence living inside you. Entering this portal is like descending an invisible staircase, where each step is made of memories that aren't linear. You don't walk through time, you walk across it. Here, there are no clocks. What exists is a feeling, the sensation of returning to a place you never actually left. At first, the crossing can be uncomfortable. The walls of this inner temple reflect everything. The fears you never named. The wounds you hid even from yourself. But deep within, they also reflect something else. The original light that has always been yours. At the center, there is a chamber. Silent. Untouched. It is here that your true energy has been kept, protected by layers of forgetting. And when you approach, it responds. Not with words, but with a wave of warmth, a pulsing, as if it recognizes the one who has returned. Some describe this experience as meeting a friend who never forgot you. Others, as stepping into a field of light so pure it dissolves every weight you've carried. Whatever the form, they all say the same: time stops. And as you touch this energy, something stirs awake. It's as if the portal breathes with you. Each inhale brings more clarity. Each exhale, more lightness. But there's something even more fascinating. Once you cross this portal, you realize your energy doesn't just live. It speaks. And what if you could understand every message it's been trying to send you? It has never used words. It has never needed them. Your energy speaks in a language that predates any human tongue, and yet you have known it all your life. It's a language made of sensations, of shivers that appear for no reason, of a chill at the back of your neck that doesn't come from the wind, of a gentle warmth in your chest when something or someone is in tune with you. It also speaks through images and dreams. Sometimes, a scene that appears in your mind isn't just imagination. It's a fragment sent by your energy field, trying to warn, remind, or protect you. Other times, it's the synchronicities that repeat themselves, numbers that insist on showing up, seemingly random encounters, signs that pile up until they can no longer be ignored. The body is also part of this conversation. A knot in your stomach can be a no. A deep sigh, a yes. Breath that quickens without effort, the sparkle in your eyes, the softening of your shoulders, all of this is the grammar of energy. But the modern world has trained us to ignore this language. It has filled our days with noise until the most subtle signals fade into the background. And still, it keeps trying to speak. And every time you pay attention, the dialogue grows stronger. Recognizing this language is like tuning into a forgotten radio station. At first, there's static interference. But little by little, the words, or rather, the signals become clear. And you begin to understand that your energy is not just a witness to your life. It is a guide, a map, a silent guardian. And as you learn to listen, you notice there are forces, both internal and external, that respond to this. Some want to amplify your flow, to protect it. Others want to silence it. Who are these guardians? And what happens if they are defeated? They don't wear uniforms. They don't carry visible swords or shields. But their presence is unmistakable to anyone who has learned how to feel. The guardians of the flow aren't only out there. Some live within you, silent forces that watch over the integrity of your energy. They appear as strong intuitions, as gut feelings that make you change your path at the last moment, as an inexplicable urge to say no, even when everyone expects a yes. They are like sentinels positioned at the gates of your energy field. Gates that control what comes in and what goes out. Each of these guardians has a role. Some block destructive vibrations, others reinforce your own frequency when it begins to weaken. But not everyone who circles those gates is on your side. There are also energy predators, shadows that approach gently, offering attention, comfort, or power, and while you're distracted, they drain what is most vital. They may wear familiar faces or remain completely unseen. They may show up as friends, leaders, lovers, or simply as circumstances that seem inevitable. The most dangerous thing is that they know your openings. They know exactly which wounded memories to touch, which emotions to stir in order to gain entry. And once they get through, the draining is slow and almost imperceptible. You only realize it when you're already exhausted, unmotivated, disconnected from yourself. But there is one detail that changes everything. When your awareness awakens, your inner guardians grow stronger. They reorganize, close the open gates, rebuild the invisible wall. And with that, your energy begins to restore itself. Still, protection is not the same as liberation. To reclaim what has already been taken, you'll have to go through a deeper, almost ritualistic process. And that process is what can finally return to you the frequency the world tried to erase. It's not a lavish ceremony. There are no required candles, no sacred words chanted in unison. The rite of unblocking is intimate, almost secret. It happens at the threshold between the visible and the invisible. It all begins with a decision. And this decision is not just mental, it's vibrational. It's the moment when you declare, not with your mouth, but with your own frequency, I want back what is mine. The instant that intention takes shape, something in the field around you shifts. It's as if the invisible threads holding you start to vibrate, revealing their own existence. You feel where the bindings are, in the weight on your shoulders, in the tension of your jaw, in the breath that refuses to deepen. The first step is to acknowledge each tie. It doesn't matter if it was created by an old trauma, by a promise made in the heat of a moment, or by a quiet need for approval. The act of looking at it already begins to dissolve it. Then comes the cutting. It isn't done with blades. It's done with sound, with breath, with presence. Some use visualization, imagining an intense light slicing through the thread, dissolving it until nothing remains. Others feel it as if they were pulling hooks embedded in their own body, painful at first, but freeing in the very next moment. The cleansing of the field follows. It can be through water, through fire, through wind, or through earth, elements that carry the memory of original balance. Each acts as a purifier, removing the remnants of old connections. And then, silence. A silence unlike the one at the beginning of life. Now, it's a full, clean silence, where you can feel the return of your own inner sound. The pulse of your energy, beating again without interference. Some people cry at this moment. Others laugh. Some simply stand still, feeling their body fill with something they haven't felt in years, wholeness. But this rite is not the end. It's the opening of a new cycle. Because once your energy returns, it is no longer the same. It is more intense, more expansive, more alive. And that is when the new emission of light begins. At first, it's subtle. A gentle brightness in your eyes. A deeper breath. A way of walking that seems to carry less weight. But to those who know how to feel, it's impossible not to notice. Something has changed. Your energy now pulses with a livelier rhythm, one more aligned with who you truly are. And this new frequency doesn't just stay within you, it begins to radiate outward. It's like lighting a torch in the middle of darkness. People around you, even without knowing why, feel drawn to it. Some come closer seeking warmth. Others, unsettled, pull away. Because your new emission of light doesn't just attract, it also reveals. And not everyone is ready to be seen with such clarity. You notice curious changes. Situations that once repeated themselves dissolve. Relationships that drained your energy end naturally. New opportunities appear effortlessly, as if the world were responding to your renewed vibration. Your body responds too. The constant fatigue gives way to a serene vitality. Your thoughts fall into place. Your intuition, once muffled, begins to speak with greater clarity, sometimes so quickly it seems to anticipate events. But this new light carries a silent responsibility. Because now you know your energy is not only yours. It connects to something greater, and every movement you make reverberates beyond what you can see. It's at this point you understand, the restoration wasn't just for you. It was for the invisible fabric we are all part of. And in realigning yourself, you realign everything connected to you. Still, there is one last revelation. A truth so deep it can forever change how you understand what energy really is. And that truth is what awaits in the return to the infinite. It's not a place you reach with steps. It's a state you enter when your energy recognizes itself as part of something that was never separate from you. Crossing this final doorway, you realize the energy you call your own was never truly yours. It is a fragment of a shoreless ocean, a spark from a fire that has burned since before any creation. Everything you have lived, every loss, every theft, every right, every healing, was only the path to remembering this. And now, as you feel this connection, the world looks different. The sky is not just the sky. The wind is not just air in motion. Everything carries the same pulse that vibrates within you. You understand that in protecting and expanding your energy, you are not only caring for yourself. You are keeping alive the link that binds every being to this infinite network. It's as if every breath you take is a message to the universe, saying, "I remember. I'm here. I belong." This awareness changes the way you move through the world. You begin to choose where to place your attention, like someone carefully deciding where to plant a rare seed. And at the same time, you feel you no longer need to control anything, because your energy, now in full flow, knows exactly where to go. There is a silent serenity in this, a knowing that doesn't rely on explanations, a love that doesn't need reasons. And as you return to daily life, you carry the certainty that nothing and no one can ever again take from you what has been restored. Because your energy is no longer an isolated flame. It is part of the sun. And the sun never goes out. Your energy is the first and last thing you truly possess. It is not just life force. It is the map of your existence, the echo of your origin. Protect it as you would the breath that keeps your heart alive. Because the moment you decide to care for it, the universe begins to care for you.